So I went to the world premiere of Ant-Man last night, Ant-Man and the Wasp, at the Chinese theater in Hollywood. My mom works on those films, so that's how I got in. She invited me, so I went as her date. And man, it was great. It was fantastic. I can't say anything about it directly, but if you were a fan of the first film, it's in that same vein, the same tone rather. Super fun, great adventure, heist elements, fantastic action. Really funny, really, really funny. And the action was great in the first one and even better in this one. And one really cool thing, they made a better use of, not that they didn't do a great use of it in the first movie, but in this one, the use of going from small to big and all of those things, their powers utilized much better. And it was fantastic the last time, but it was just, in particular, there's a fight scene with the Wasp that's just fucking incredible. It's perfect. It's gorgeously shot. So much fun, very comic booky, but in the best sense of that. Where in a comic you would read it and you would buy it, but a lot of time when that stuff is translated to the screen, it doesn't work. But this totally works. Everything about it worked. It was great, hilarious. All the characters that were in the first one that you know are in this one are in it, and they're awesome. And then there's obviously new people, but just great. I can't recommend it enough. It was fantastic. One thing, all of my favorite films in the MCU are, and in no particular order, but like Spider-Man: Homecoming, Captain America: Winter Soldier, and Civil War. So that's 2 and 3. Iron Man 1, Guardians of the Galaxy, Ant-Man now 1 and 2, and all the Thors, but in particular the last one, Ragnarok. So all of those, with the exception of like the last Thor and Guardians, those other ones are all shot very much like a regular film, like a non-CG film. So they're lit very well and they're shot gorgeously, and no disrespect to Thor and Guardians, but just all of that blue and green screen, I don't think it looks great. It just doesn't. I mean, there's no way. There's not a lot of other ways to do that type of movie, but I just don't like the way digital lighting looks. Most of the time when you're seeing these movies, they're lit in post, and to me it shows. I don't particularly like that look. But those other ones, Spider-Man and both the Ant-Mans and Iron Man 1, and those two, in particular Winter Soldier, just shot beautifully. And this Ant-Man 2, Ant-Man and the Wasp, gorgeous to look at, really, really pretty. And obviously a ton of CG, but it doesn't detract. Where like when you're watching something like Thor Ragnarok, for example, it's all, you're not really looking at anything. But this, you don't have that feeling at all. I never once had that feeling, with the exception of, when they're in the, I don't know what I can say or what I can't say, but there are some obvious scenes where it's like, well, of course that is all CG. But it was great. Fuck, it was so much fun, laughing the whole way through. And then my mom, Jerry Baker, she was the department head for the hair department. She's amazing, one of the best in the industry, and she did a great job. And we were sitting next to one of her great friends and her husband, Heba, Thor's daughter, and her husband Shepard, and Heba does makeup, and she's amazing too. Everybody looks great. It was so cool to be there, and they got started a little late. They were having some technical difficulties in the IMAX, so some lady came out and like saying happy birthday to her friend. It was awkward, but funny. It was cute. And that was one bad thing was that has nothing to do with the movie, but however the seats work, we were like second row and on that huge IMAX screen, so you're looking basically straight up. So it took my eyes a while to adjust to the distortion of the screen. Not clarity, as it was clear as could be, but the perspective, the distorted perspective. So I would like to actually see it again and sit, further back. But it was awesome. So much fun. Really happy to be there. And then afterwards we went to the after party at Ohm. It was great. Mainly just hung out with my mom and Shepard, and they did their stuff. But there was a really cool moment. Well, one, everybody's so nice. All those people in that movie are just the nicest people. Yeah. Like Michael Douglas is incredibly warm and friendly and genuine, seems really authentic. I didn't spend a lot of time with him, but I did meet him, and he was great. Very, very nice. But one of the really cool things was I was talking with my mom, and David Dastmalchian comes over, and he sees her, so he gives her a big hug, and they're talking, and he's saying hello, and then she introduces me. I say hello, and he's saying very nice, very sweet things about my mom. It's great. And then another woman that works on the show, I don't know what she did for the show, but was there with her daughter, and her daughter was maybe 10, 11, something like that. But so the woman walks up with her daughter, and David Dastmalchian is not, in Ant-Man and the Wasp, he has this very thick Eastern European accent. I'm not sure if he's Russian or Ukrainian or what exactly he's going for, but it's somewhere in there, Eastern Bloc type of accent. And but he doesn't really speak that way. He has a perfectly normal American accent. Well, anyway, we're talking, and then this woman comes up, and he says hello, but then he notices her daughter. And without skipping a fucking beat, he goes right into the accent and leans down and is speaking with her and in that accent to not break that movie magic for her. Nobody told him to do it. There wasn't even time to like a set. What a fucking professional and classy move to be that thoughtful. And especially, we're at a party, so he's not working. He's already speaking to people in his regular everyday accent. And then he sees this girl and just immediately switches back to the character to speak to her. It blew me away. I will always, from this day forward, sing that man's praises. That was the coolest, sweetest thing. He didn't have to do that. Most people, not even to be malicious, but most people wouldn't even think of doing that. They would just be caught up in the moment and just say hello. But he just figured that would be great for her, and he was right. That was amazing. So nice. I can't say enough nice things about him. Very, very cool. Yeah, and that was it. I was out way too late to like almost midnight. I'm never out that late anymore. I'm in bed early, 10 or something like that. Had a couple drinks. I did not eat. It's all free, catered, but just amazing. I mean, they had like all this sushi stuff or, vegan options. And then they had fucking chicken and waffles. And it looked like they had, I don't know. There was a bunch of stuff there. I didn't have any of it, and I wanted all of it. But sticking to my nutrition plan, which for right now does not have me eating. This is mine, as nobody else is doing this, but I do not allow myself right now to eat past 5. That's just what's been working for me lately, and I've been fucking up a lot. Just been really stressed, and I've been really, really kind of feeling my depression kind of start coming back over me. So been coping a lot with shitty food, and it's no good. So I'm trying to get a handle on that. So even though I had a couple drinks, which did technically break that diet, I was drinking vodka soda, it's not that bad, but it still technically was breaking it. I didn't make it worse by having those damn chicken and waffles, even though I really wanted it. But anyway, yeah, it was great. So much fun. And, welcome to PORB Podcast. This is the first episode that will be video. So, hey, this is me. This is what I look like. This is my place. Yeah, but I loved it. I loved the movie. It was fantastic. I can't wait to watch it again. I can't wait for everybody else to see it. Give my mom a shout out, Jerry Baker. You'll see her, hair department head, and Heba as well. They're great people, and yeah, it was cool. Some lady came up, one of my mom's friends, and introduced herself to me, but my mom had walked away, and she was like, "Oh, so are you Jerry's boyfriend?" No, that's my mom. My mom, she looks real young, and yeah, I guess I do too. I don't know. I'm 35. But anyway, it was very funny. I got mistaken for my mom's boyfriend. Yeah. So anyway, go see the movie, go support, all that stuff. But, that depression is really, the last few weeks have been, I don't really know. Well, that's not true. I do know why. The stuff with the custody stuff that I'm going through it's fucking awful, and there's no need for it. So that adds to the stress and anxiety of it, that it doesn't actually have to be this way. One of the people in this situation is choosing to make things very difficult and painful, which sucks. It just sucks. It sucks for me. It sucks for my son. It sucks for her. Nobody likes feeling that way. Even if somebody is causing problems, they don't like that stress, even though they may be addicted to it, or that's their defense or coping mechanisms to behave that way. But it doesn't feel good. It definitely doesn't feel good. So yeah, I've been real stressed about that, and work, and I'm trying to take my career in a couple other directions, and it's just hard to juggle all these things. Not to sound like a broken record, but self-employed, single parent, doing a lot on my own, trying to keep a lot of balls in the air, plate spinning, all those things. Plate spinning in the air with balls bouncing on top of them, trying to make all that happen. And it's hard sometimes. It's just hard. So I get really stressed. I don't have anybody around for support in that respect. So it's tiring. So I've been noticing I've been skipping some of my workouts, and eating poorly, making bad food choices, and going against the things I'll say. I'll say I'm going to do this, and then I immediately take a left turn and don't do that. So, just trying to not be too harsh on myself, but at the same time, not let myself off the hook. Just figure out what I need and how to get a handle on it. Yeah, which is always the struggle, right? I mean, that's what everybody's trying to do, whether they know it or not. They're trying to figure out what they need, get a handle on it. Way easier to say than do, though. Shit's tough, man. Things are tough all over. Yeah. Depression's fucked up. Even when things start going better, it's weird. I said this to my therapist, a year ago or something like that, and I've said it multiple times since then. But I started to kind of feel that, somebody had asked me how I was doing. Hey, Graham, how are you? And I try to be honest with that question. I don't like just saying I'm fine. But as I was about to answer, I felt myself wanting or about to say, I feel good. And there was a fear that might be true, and that I was stepping away from my depression. That like, it's been with me for so long and it's been such a part of me. And if I don't have that, then what do I have? And it was weird. I felt myself afraid to say that I was doing okay. Not even doing great. Just, I was afraid to say I'm doing okay. That's a weird feeling, man. And I still feel that, like, like without that, then what am I? What is this? So it was really, and I still struggle with it. Yeah, it's fucked up to be to be dependent on something like your depression. What would it mean to say, oh yeah, I'm happy, or what would that look like? What would that feel like? I don't know. Because I've never truly been that. I've never been without like a pretty intense feeling of isolation and heartbreak and sadness and just depression. Even when things are going well, you kind of feel yourself disassociating and pulling back, and then you start kind of thinking about maybe happiness is a trigger for me. Another brilliant insight by my therapist. She asked, she's like, do you feel that maybe happiness is a trigger? When things start going well, do I inflict pain on myself to bring me back down? There's safety in the gutter. You can't fall off the floor. So maybe that's part of it, right? Stuff to think about. What I was thinking about, which is weird, like pretty much all religions. Oh, I am not a fan, by the way. I'm a fan of people feeling good, and I'm a fan of people meditating, and I'm a fan of people helping one another and learning life lessons and all of that. I'm a fan. I'm a big fan. Those things can and do exist without religion. And I also find like when people are who aren't terribly religious, like they're not crazy militant people or whatever, but they hold on to this religion. It usually has more to do with like a nostalgia. When they were kids, they went with their parents or their grandparents, or they had these very special bonding moments with their siblings or their cousins or something like that. And that's what they're connected to, because they don't necessarily live their life in a way that is indicative of somebody who is supposed to follow this book. Anyway, if your religion, it places the order of things as like God, man, women, children, animals, and anybody who's not your skin tone or ethnicity. And then that's what you're basing your beliefs on. It's fucked up. And then everybody just cherry picks the shit they want and the shit they don't want. And it's all based so much on like geography, and like every religion that exists because it destroyed whatever was there prior. And that's the thing about like even the situation we're in right now with our government or any government. Why when a dictator takes over, does he undo and destroy and erase the things that his predecessors built, who were for the people or good or who were loved? Why does that happen? And that's because the idea of something or someone better can challenge the reality of what's happening. An idea can challenge reality. So if I create this horrible reality for you that I'm in charge of, but you still remember, or you read a book and it has something beautiful and and sparks your spirit, that is a threat to me at that point. So that's, when you look at Trump demolishing all these things that Obama set in place, that's a part of it. It's mostly ego and insecurity and stuff, but a big part of that is you want to take away what used to be there that was good and then start scrubbing that shit away. But that's what religion does. Everywhere it exists, it wiped out whatever was there before it. So it's like if I belong to a club and I was like, hey, you want to join my club? And you're like, oh, I don't know. What do you guys do? I was like, well, it's really great. We get together, we sing songs, we have cookouts, we tell stories, we teach each other lessons on how to be nice and care for one another. And sometimes we go overseas and we build schools for kids and shelters and things like that. It's great. And I'm like, wow, that sounds wonderful. Maybe I do want to join. Like, yeah, but one extra thing though, like, if you don't agree with everything that we say, you'll be ostracized. And we're only building those schools for those kids as long as they believe what we believe, and we're going to enforce that on them. And if you believe something different, we're going to like strip that away and then replace it with this thing. And then, also, a lot of our higher ups, the people who are in charge that we look to for safety and support and guidance, our leaders, a lot of them like, rape kids and embezzle money and stuff like that. But, that's just a little bit, because there's these cool things that are great too. And like pretty much every war and horrible atrocity against man and nature, we're kind of the cause of that too. But, we have this really nice song that we sing sometimes. It's pretty cool. You'd be like, fuck you and your crazy ass club. Get the fuck out of my face. Right? Man, I'm really tired, so I'm bouncing a lot. But the thing I was thinking about was like, so people always associate God as a man, right? When nearly all life is created by a woman, like all of it, with the exception of like a seahorse. So it's like everybody's like worshiping this fucking seahorse god. And I thought that would be way cooler if people just were like, yeah, my god is a giant fucking seahorse. That's what it feels like. And when people are talking about their religions, it's like it may as well just be a giant seahorse in the sky. Like it's as plausible. But people would be really offended if you called their god a seahorse. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. So Disney bought 21st Century Fox for $71.3 billion. That's crazy. But I'm super excited to hopefully see a good X-Men movie again. And maybe for once a good Fantastic Four movie. And maybe all them motherfuckers coming together. And a real good Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom is in my top 5 characters of all time. It's like Batman, Swamp Thing, Doctor Doom, Doctor Strange. I don't know a 5th one. Maybe the Max. Maybe. And then a bunch of fucking other ones. But yeah. I don't know. Sorry, but I'm not sorry. If you don't like the God talk, fuck you. You don't have to listen to my shit. But please listen to my stuff and, subscribe and like and review and rate and review and comment and share and all those good things. Yeah. Oh, man. I saw this really, really young, really, really fat kid the other day. But maybe he was 8, maybe. Short, he's short, whatever an 8-year-old is, 4 feet tall or something. Easily 120 pounds, 100 pounds. Easily. That shit is so fucked up. That kid, you know, if you're not, when you're going to have a kid, if you're not looking into a little bit of nutrition, health, and child psychology and development, and then also doing some work on yourself, like, I fucking hate you. I know it's not malicious, but it's ignorant. And that's just as bad. If not, no, it's not worse, but it's just as bad. That poor kid, aside from just the massive physical and medical issues he's going to have, but just emotional and social problems that'll come from being constantly laughed at, pointed at, looked at. You know, if that kid, when he gets older, like, he's not going to be fucking. I mean, I know it's a pretty general, broad statement, but I mean, that's an important part of your life. Sex is not important for everybody. Some people are asexual, and obviously this does not apply to you or them. But for most people, that urge to have physical intimacy is really important. And the amount that it is exponentially harder if you are 100 pounds overweight. And it's like, he's a kid. His parents are feeding him. So they're doing that to him. That's so fucked up. He doesn't know. He trusts them implicitly. Like, I want to eat this. So he's not getting any boundaries. There's no like, no, you've had enough, or that food isn't good for you. It's obviously, they can see him. They can see how heavy he is, how unhealthy he is. And how is he he can't be playing. He's not running. I watched him. He took 3 steps and then stopped and then would walk, and all the other kids are running. You know, I was like a chubby kid. I wasn't fat, but I was chubby. And even that was hard. Not athletic at all. You know, I mean, fuck. Why that's not a criminal thing? Why, you know, you can't give a kid alcohol. You can't give a kid cigarettes or heroin, but you can pump them full of sugar and you can beat the shit out of them. It's fucked up, man. It is so crazy. So I saw that kid and I just felt so bad for him. I was so furious at the parents and so sad and heartbroken for that kid of what he's going to have to go through. Now, maybe he'll finally get some good mentorship at some point in his life and turn it around, and okay, great. But that's a big maybe. Most people don't do that. It was awful. So if you have kids, you know, do some research, learn about healthy nutrition, and feed them food, feed them real food. You know, something I encounter a lot, I'm a personal trainer, and when I work with people who have kids, they'll be like, oh, my kids don't like carrots. Well, fucking give them carrots. I mean, they'll learn to like it. Their taste buds have to adjust, and it's not you're doing this to help them. It's like, in my case, it's nice because my son has only ever eaten good, clean food. He doesn't have processed sugar. He doesn't have fried food. He doesn't have bad food. So he'll run, like the other day, I open the fridge. He's out here playing, and I'm in the kitchen, and I'm cooking his breakfast, and I open the fridge, and he comes fucking barreling down into the kitchen, and he's like, Daddy, I want apples. Can I have an apple? And he reaches in and he grabs an apple. And I'm like, yeah, man, give me that. I washed it. And even there, I'm like, okay, but how do you ask nice? And he said, Daddy, may I please have an apple? I said, absolutely, man. So like eating healthy food, speaking with manners. You know, manners sets the stage for nice. It sets the stage for kindness. It sets the stage for maturity and humility. So, you know, teaching kids good manners, teaching kids good nutrition, basic exercise and working out as they get a little older, but even just, you know, constant playing when they're younger. That's so important. I mean, that's what your job is as a parent, is to do those things. I mean, that's it. That's what you're there for. To give them a better life. The other day, I see this all the time. Like a parent. I don't want to make. Well, it happened with my kid too, which was frustrating. But I've seen it with other parents too. A parent is like picking up their kid and like bumps their head against something or like bumps into him, and then the parent tells the kid, "Oh, be careful." Like, so one, you're not accepting that you did something, and then you're teaching that behavior to the kid. Just them observing you, because that's what kids do. And then your response to like your kid hitting their head is just be careful, not like, "Oh, I'm sorry, are you okay?" Like you're so incapable of acknowledging or seeing your own actions as mistakes that even at a little kid, you're like, it's your fault. You fucked up. You should watch where I'm going. Or when I pick you up and you have no control, fucking bob and weave or something so I don't bang your head against the roof of the car. Unreal. What are people doing? What the fuck are people doing? I don't know. Hey. My boy Seth gifted me a game on Steam. Just Cause 3. I've been playing it. What wacky fun that is. If you haven't played it, I highly recommend it. It's on Steam sale right now. So much fun. It's just ridiculous, like over the top action. Every cliche you can imagine. You're like this, I think he's Italian or maybe Spanish guy, and you wear like jeans and I think he's got a vest and, guns everywhere, and you're just constantly parachuting off of things, and you have a wingsuit and everything explodes. It's so tongue-in-cheek and so fun. It is so fun. You have like a tether gun, so you can shoot a wire at something and then it'll pull you into it. And man, it's great. It is so much fun. It's nice to play like a really mindless, pure joy-driven game. That's how I felt. I watched Rampage, the movie Rampage, the other day, and it's like that. It's just silly, fun, very well done action that's mindless but totally enjoyable. If you haven't seen Rampage, I totally recommend it. It's very fun. Oh yeah, and then I saw Ready Player One also, which wasn't terrible, but it just wasn't great. I didn't care about anybody, and visually, you're just watching just nonstop CGI. It was fun to see like, oh, there's Godzilla and whatever, Gundam, and there's Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter characters with, it's cool to see all that stuff. But overall, it's just, it wasn't bad. It was just nothing. It was just nothing. Again, that part of that problem of this movie isn't really lit, and everything is fake, and there's just no connection. I felt like that would have been, even the premise, the premise is obviously older, but the movie would have been really highly regarded and amazing in the 90s. So it felt very dated. And I know that the story is older, but even so, just as a movie, the way it was done, it just didn't do anything for me. Yeah. I don't know. What's your favorite kind of porn? I don't know if I have one favorite. It's all so good, and there's so much variety. Right? There's so many. You got to hand it to professional sex workers. Like, what an awesome service they're doing. And I'm not even being sarcastic when I say that. I mean it. It's awesome. Right? I mean, who doesn't like porn? I don't trust people who say, it's like people who are like, oh, I don't like porn, or I don't like dogs, or I don't know. I don't trust that shit. Yeah, porn's great. I don't know if I have a favorite genre though. They're all pretty good. I don't get into any kind of like bodily fluid things. That doesn't do anything for me. If that's what you like, it's cool. I'm not shitting on you. I just don't like it at all. It's no good. Especially if it involves shit. That I don't understand. I'm glad there are outlets for people who do. But I don't get it. I don't get it. Yeah. I don't know. Ooh. I don't know what else is going on. I'm super tired. I'm going to go to one of my best friends. She's offered to take my son and I to Disneyland tomorrow. So I'm going to cook a bunch of food right now and pack it up and take him to Disneyland tomorrow as a surprise. I can't wait. I'm so excited. Even though I am excited, I all week I've been having, and I have right now, a little bit of anxiety about going. It's weird. I never thought I had like social anxiety. I always just figured like, oh, I just fucking hate people. I don't like being outside. Nah. But it's something else. It's something other than that, because I'm constantly thinking about all the possibilities of what could happen. And then like a lot of negative possibilities. So, it's anxiety. But, obviously it'll be fine. It'll be fun. But yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait. But I'm super tired. Out late last night, being all fancy pants at the Ant-Man and The Wasp premiere. And then up early, and I fucking wasted my morning. Like there were so many things. I hate saying that I wasted my morning. But I did. There were a lot of things I wanted to do and needed to do. And I just really hardcore gave in to resistance. All those moments. Okay, well, if now I can start my workout, passed. Okay, well, now I can make this thing for work that I needed to do, passed. Even this podcast I was going to do in the morning, passed. Thankfully, I can do it now. But now it crams my night with a bunch of stuff where I should have just been cooking and then had a little bit of time to unwind before I went to bed, because I'm up at 5 every day. So yeah, really fucking wasted my morning. I was really bummed about it. And then I went to work and I had a few sessions and they were good. But it was weighing on me like, man, I should have and could have been way more productive, especially right now at this point in my life. I need to make some big leaps, and wasting time like that is not helpful. I did attempt to work on some music, and I ironed out a problem I was having with my recording software, so that was nice. But it's still just a massive amount of wasting time. And as I was heading home, I had to stop at the grocery store, and then I was thinking, okay, like, just go in and do these things. And then literally as I'm approaching my house, I start feeling myself start to talk myself out of it, or make excuses as to why I couldn't do it. That is a never-ending thing. And that's true for everybody. It's just something you always need to work through. But yeah, it was frustrating. I wasn't happy that I did that. But whatever. I'll just have to make up those things later in the week. And enjoy my time at Disneyland tomorrow with my son and one of my best friends. And yeah, do that. All right. That's it. I don't have anything else to say. I don't think. I got to go cook that stuff. Well, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you're listening on iTunes, or even if you're not, please rate and review and subscribe. And if you're watching on YouTube, please like, subscribe, comment, share, all that stuff. Yeah, I will see you guys next week. Peace.